through rage.
So, ladies, welcome back to part 2 of What If Deku was the entity of Paths of Destiny. So, now, in this part, I found it. So, yeah. So now, let's begin with our journey. But before, and this is what they usually say.
Through rage, we fight. Through fear, we grow. Through hope, we shine, and the balance we sow. In the nexus, we find the way. Infinite potential. Forever to stay. The Nexus Lantern Corps emerges as a unique faction, beyond good or evil. They are neither bound by a single emotion nor limited by the constraints of the traditional Lantern Corps. Their power thrives on the coexistence of contradictions.
Yeah. So, if you guys don't know what that means, is basically this Lantern Corps is basically chicken nugget. So, now let's begin. That's what the saying was. And now, without any further ado, let's continue. So, yeah, Zuko. So, when Zuko said that, through his own words, like an oath, that was the oath. So when Zuko talked, the ring that was on the table started to flicker and went right onto his hand, or actually went right into his finger. As he's like, I did not know how to do that until, as they're like, man, so you, my friend, are now a new lantern that we just discovered. As, yeah. So, many people actually looked at Zuko and plus the ring's aura manifested like its true powers. And that attracted the attention of every lantern. What I mean by every lantern is that all of them, black, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, pink, and white, each one of them had each core member, like a leader of those cores, actually showed up before. And yeah. So, sorry if you're hearing the dogs barking in the background. Yeah. So, yeah. So, all 9 leaders of are separate, like, lanterns actually showed up to Earth to greet this new one. And some of them, like Sinestro, or first 3 people that did show up before was Atrocitus, Larfleeze, and Sinestro. And Rage and Larfleeze was about to start a fight. But Zuko raises his hand, stops the fighting, as he calms both sides down. As Sinestro's like, impressive. And yeah, all the compliments, like, he has proven his worth and all that stuff. So, yeah. And so, light and dark actually agrees with each other's that he will be the only one that will be in the middle of the... Yeah. So, he actually... They talked. So, yeah. Then, after the meeting, Zuko actually went home, as he's just tired out. But he doesn't look like he's tired out. But he is. So, he's only a human. So, that... Yeah, so basically so his brother and his sister were like, "Wow, big bro or little brother, I didn't know that you were such a cool lantern." Yeah, that was awesome. Dealing with those lanterns, man. That's why. And yeah. So most of the lanterns, except for blue and pink and purple and green and white, some of them are really wary of his. So Zuko actually created a core, like a battery, like every other lantern. But he keeps the balance between, as Larfleeze is actually, when Larfleeze looked at Zuko for the first time, he actually, before he left, he actually stuck around and told him that, because this is a different version of Larfleeze, that's this orange one. He still has the greed one, but because of Zuko's calmness, he's like, "Man, your lanterns are more balanced." Yes, I know that you represent greed, Larfleeze, but there's one thing that you do have. That is, you have your lanterns. I say you do have. Okay? So that's most prized possession to actually have. As the... Okay? And so... Okay? So he represents, like, how... So Zuko represents a balance between the worlds. And even, like, basically Guardians of the Galaxy actually admiring the balance. And I also forgot to mention that Zuko, or actually the robots, or so the robots of Guardians of, or Guardians, like robots, actually, they both, or so the robots looked at Zuko and they don't see him as a threat. But one of them actually walked up to him, but instead of like arresting him, or he wants, or so they wanted to join him so that to keep a balance of the universe. So yeah, so then they basically got the spectrum of in. So yeah, only one the Romans did that, and so then the each robot looked at him, or actually one robot actually told him, or you'll be the right hand man, okay? Or right hand robot. Or right hand one. Okay. So then, so because each one, so even Guardians told him that he's unique and different. So, but his powers really manifested. So he makes sure to, yeah. So everybody's like, your brothers and you all are just so cool, as everybody's complimenting them one by one, two by two, three by three. Yeah. Yeah. So then yeah. So then most of the actors of UA were wanted to become pro heroes, and they also want to become like the lanterns. So like stuff like that. But Dobby actually, instead of him joining, or instead of, or he actually betrays the League of Villain to go for him, because he realized that with this new lanterns, he always wanted to pick a lantern to have like emotions. But when he saw Zuku's new lantern core manifesting, he just like, I'm in. So did Ochako, or not Ochako, I meant Toga. Yeah. So they both joined him. Even, yeah, most of the League of Villains were just like, we're done with being villains, now we're being heroes. And yeah, so they Yeah, so when the League of Villains, like basically members that left down, there was Kirigiri, Shiraki-sen, and Spitter and Magnus. Because all of their hearts. So Dobby, was like when he put a ring on, then his entire memories of him hating his father because of what he done to him when he was young actually got changed. And so he's now more like balanced character. Like he's just like he went from angry pyro to much more calm. So yeah. So then many alien creatures, including, I'm gonna include this as um in well, so there was this one and there was one more, but I'm trying to remember. Um, it was the not Omni Man, but there was this one. Oh, these guys. Yeah, these guys. So these guys somehow, when they put the ring on them, the entire planet where they were at were all got like basically all of their memories of, or if they had any memories, but all of them got changed. Like, basically, what I mean is that these creatures actually gained much more calm demeanor. All of their planet, or their entire planet, was now got turned from violent creatures to much more calm and much more focused creatures. And they obey, or not obeys, or they actually do obey Zuko. And Plus, they stay that way, by the way. I forgot to mention. They stay that way for a long time. Even if they take off their ring. So, yeah. So the entire core members, like the entire cores, were on that planet. The same one that these guys are on. So, then, but they were like, they aren't really, or they're smart because of Ring transformed their DNAs into much more smart as, like, say, the T-Rex one. So, yeah. So, when Dobby's like, man, these creatures are just... I heard, actually, when Zuko was, like, doing the interview with one of them, one of them actually says, my tribe will be honored in your lantern's core. Okay? Because, yeah. So, he gains their trust, and they did more than that. They even done more than any normal person could ever do. Zuko's, as he tries to keep the balance, but because his quirk actually did two things. First, it made an offspring. What I mean by that is basically it copied itself for the copied one to be absorbed into the ring itself, or in core itself. So everybody's much more, or instead of having to go overload and boom. Yeah. So, yeah, each one of them is stronger than a normal person. So they're like, man, you seem busy a lot more than normally. Yeah. And so then, and so she says, and Ochako actually talked to me about the or actually it was before the sports festival. And Zuko didn't miss it. So, yeah. So then so Ochako actually talked to her, like off screen basically, about that she still has a heart for him, and yeah, all that stuff. So then Zuko's was like, as I know it's a lot. Are you, brother? But actions aren't just as they so he ends up dating Ochako, and his ring infected the cook, the customer that was, and a dog. As he says to the ring, knock it off. And so, yeah, Zuko was talking to his ring. And so Ochako finds that weird. But then she remembers that he's part of a new lanterns. So when she walked up to him, like after lunch, and she basically went, or so Zuko took her home, or back to her dorm, and she ends up telling him that she loves him and all that stuff. And so, yeah. But she didn't tell him that she accidentally kissed his rage. The guy with this guy on this guy right here. And then, yeah. So then, yeah. So then the time skip, everybody was like, man. So time skip to the future, where Ochako and Zuko got married. And the whole Lantern Corps of Calmness was there. And Bakugo can't believe that a new lantern or new type of lantern got basically not married, or getting married and all that stuff. So, yeah. So he ends up basically, or so Zuko, the leader of and represents the balance in the world, was basically, he had to make sure all the lanterns were, he was quite busy. Like, say one day, all of them complained about some of their lanterns were, or actually some of their personal problems to him, and they're like, you always need to find a right balance between you. So, yeah. So then he's like a wise man. Like, he basically talks so calm that even, so like Atrocitus actually doesn't want to admit it, but he really likes him when he's like super calm, much more focused, instead of, yeah. So Sinestro is like, man, with that much power you have, Zuko. Or, yeah, stuff like that way. It's just, all of them are just like, how are you keeping all of us balanced from... That's easy part. Every emotion has its ups and downs and stuff that way. So, yeah. So then So then a new threat appears. That is instead of anti-life equation, it's the anti-dark equation. Where this creature, or this humanoid creature, actually wanted to destroy the entire universe. But Zuko was there, stops him, as he's like, huh. The monster's like, huh, you must be Zuko Midoriya. It's an honor meeting a new lantern that keeps things in balance. How is that working for you? As he starts to smile. At the thought. And so then he's like, huh. You seem powerful. Yeah. Now it's time for your homeworld to be obliterated. And so Zuko blocks the attack as he absorbs it. As the Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, shows up, he's like, be careful. He has dark energy, negative emotions of a person. He won't be a threat to me. As he walks up, as he punches a guy, as he says, but the guy looks up because the power ring, the one that Zuko has, actually changed his power, the guy's power. As he looks up, and somehow Zuko, or when he actually, he actually told Zuko that because somehow after Zuko delivered the punch to him, the power of the guy actually he actually got changed so much. Like his memories of him being born from everyone's hatred stuff. And I'm not giving him a name because he's just he's not a main villain of the story. So he ends up he got turned into the Lantern, like a core member of his. And he told Zuko that because he's seen so many people basically telling him, or he have seen so many cores, like the core members of other lanterns actually evolved. from being human into those separate chords. So he actually sees the Zuku's core, like the Nexus Lantern core, or Nexus Lantern core, as his own family. Because before, he used to be a similar species to Lobo. But then the power corrupted him, turning him into this, and because what Lobo did. And then, so, yeah. So, he actually joined the Nexus Lanterns, and he also joined, shortly after that, Grill, I can't pronounce her name right, so sorry, that is Darkseid's daughter, actually joined too, so yeah. And now, this is and personal life for him, or for Zuko, is that he had to take care of his kids. And, yeah, all that stuff. But then, So, now, please leave a like, share, subscribe, and comment, and do all that fun stuff. And please go check out part 1 before this video starts. Thank you. Have a good night.